political landscape in Cameroon?
Nothing actually to enjoy, but something to do. So I've been working so hard, extremely very hard, to see that I get the right information and the right projects to give out to Cameroonians. So we've been very, very busy.
Yeah, you say you've been very busy doing what?
Doing work, research, canvassing, gathering the data that is needed to support the people of Cameroon during this difficult moment. Because we consider that Cameroon is at the highway of a road junction that has arrived, and they need to make a very good decision for themselves. And if they don't make the good decision and get the right leader at this time, then things are not going to be very easy for them.
Okay, so you're here to help Cameroonians make the best or the right decision as we prepare for the October 12th presidential elections. I'll start by asking, many Cameroonians feel elections are already decided before the voting date. Is that the impression you have also?
And some sort of, because presidential elections all the whole world around is something that is very, very challenging and difficult to organize, and sometimes in a democratic society, then it is more easier. But in a society like the one here in Cameroon, where it's been for 42 years for one leadership, so many things have come to play in the path of the people. So choice making and decision making is not lying on the hands of the ballot only. But remember, we also have departments that, like judicial departments, the Constitutional Council that makes decisions, and this is the only country in the world where Constitutional Council makes decisions on behalf of elections. So which means that they declare the elections. They can do anything. When you declare election, you do anything. Nearly the ballot is in your hands.
Yeah, but they are declaring based on what they receive from Elecam, and parties are also giving opportunity to also petition and justify. Yeah.
No, nobody is given that opportunity. There are formalities. In life, there are always formalities. Formalities are things that you give out to fulfill self-deception or self-fulfillment. But in a democratic society, before you even go to bed, the opinion polls, they are always 80%, 100% accurate. Why are they never accurate in Cameroon? Because elections are decided by governing bodies, especially the ruling organization, the ruling party, the CPDM.
Are you saying that the process is imperfect, unfair?
Most of the times it's 100% imperfect. Yeah, we have followed elections in this country. We've been standing by. I follow lots of data. I think in Cameroon, I must be one of the people with very good knowledge of IT, information technology. I must be one of them because I develop applications. We gather information, we gather data, we share information, we secure information, we know exactly what is happening when there's a situation like the one in Cameroon at this time we're talking about. We're talking about elections. If you ask genuinely to the CPDM, the party that is proposed to win the election, even tomorrow, anytime it comes, they decide even beforehand, giving only 2 weeks for a campaign, even in the United States, even in China, even in South Africa. You can never give only 2 weeks for campaign, which means that you already, they even sleep with the constitution on their bed. Yeah,
but that is Elecam that is in charge of elections and not the CPDM. Can you give specific examples why you think the process is unfair?
First of all, Elecam is not independent. First of all, we already had O'Neill, and when they confiscated this information, and then they changed it to Elecam because they are playing a jigsaw or some funny games, just playing some games with elections. And they know Cameroonians are very polite people, very good people, these Cameroon people, very genuine people that wants to be so much calm and be peaceful. But they're pushing these people so hard to the brick wall. And then they manipulate the elections the time they want. Who appoints the head of Elecam? Who appoints him? The CPDM appoints the head of Elecam.
No, the president of the republic, not the CPDM.
Yeah, but he is the CPDM, head of the CPDM.
Yeah, but the head of the elections organizing body in the United States is appointed by the president of the republic. That of Nigeria is also appointed by the president of the republic. Nowhere are these guys appointed not by the president. Yeah.
I come from a democratic society. Yeah. I come from where the fathers of democracies are found in modern life as we live. In America, it is not like Donald Trump gets up and say, I appoint you. There are systems put in place. Information gathering. Remember, they used to have those systems that are counting Dominion
they go
systems.
through a vetting process,
Yeah.
but they are appointed by the president. It comes from the president.
No, it comes from not from the president directly. It comes from an independent body. Because remember, we got what we call like ombudsmans. We got free ombudsman services where they arbitrate in those type of situations. They are literally independent. Very, very independent, that they don't have opinion in anything. But in Cameroon, when you have a LECAM where they already have opinion of winning, and they come in directly and they tell you that even when you talk privately with them, you'll see that in your normal conversation on day-to-day life, they are part of the ruling party, and they don't have any other job.
No.
And if they lose that job of appointing, being the head of a LECAM, what is the man going to do in his house? So he doesn't want to lose the job. And the man that appoints him, if he doesn't win, what will he do? He loses his job, and he cannot stay. He has no other job in the world. He has no business. He virtually got nothing to do.
Now, you mean that previous election results did not aptly reflect the will of the people?
It can never reflect easily, but in some cases, because they got an upper hand in this Anglophone area, where elections can hardly really hold from 2018 till today. So that one is their guarantee. So I can tell you, because we are in a database system, they got 25% in the Anglophone system section, because elections will not hold. Now, how many percent are they looking for? 75 is remaining for 12 parties. Now, even if they get 25, 10%, 15%, they win.
Okay, let's talk about leadership trust. Public trust in politicians is very, very low across the board, both for the governing body and the opposition. Why do you think citizens have lost faith in you guys? Because you are also a politician.
Yeah, I think they haven't lost faith in me, but they've lost faith in the others.
Okay.
They have lost faith in people that have been there harvesting. Just harvesting money in any way it comes, harvesting contracts, not delivering them, being part of the parliamentary groups for their parties, and not delivering. Just look at other parties, even the SDF, even the CPDM, 3/4 of them in local areas, they haven't delivered anything from 2018 till now. And they get up now and they block all the roads outletting into major routes of the country, exiting into major routes, as if they got a plan B for the country. Okay, if you don't have a plan B, you live in Douala. Roads that are leading to Bonaberi, and Bonaberi leading to the southwest and leading to the west. Then when you block those secondary routes leading to those major routes, what plan have you got for the country? So it means that they got another plan that is exempt from telling the truth to the people of Cameroon. They love the people that obeys them. Even if they tell them to go, don't go outside, they will stay indoors, and they don't even care whether you give them anything. But unfortunately, these people, they just do and push our people right to the brim of the wall, where there's the brick and the human being, no way to penetrate or to go back. When you look at even parties like the SDF, for example, they will stay for so long, since 2018, they're reversing back, they're not going ahead. Look into any other area where they have contracts. Look into places where they got MPs. Look into places where they got municipals. How many new innovation? We don't only count on road, we count on innovation. New ideas coming into place, role modeling for our people, showing the symbols that you can copy to become this other person and behave like him, because he's so nice and good and polite and respectful for the people. There's no role model in the country. No one. It's hard to see somebody who wants to be like Paul Biya or who wants to be like any other person in the political field. You cannot go to primary school and see a child who wants to be like the president of Cameroon. It's a terrible place. Terrible people. Very horrible people. They don't want people to live.
You are living in Cameroon. We are all living in Cameroon. Yeah. I'm sure you're enjoying the studio.
I enjoy it.
So you say terrible place. What do you mean?
Now when I'm talking to people that list the people.
Okay.
Yeah, that list the people. They are head and manages the country. People like yourself, you are excluded because you are doing your independent business and doing exceptionally good role model for Cameroonians. And I can tell you now, because we study everything in the country. We are right at the top, and the data we got here, even the polling stations, wherever they're located, the nearest body living in the near the polling stations, we know them.
Now, this is a time for balance sheet. you are observing the political sphere. Do you see Cameroonians enthusiastic, moved, excited to go behind the existing political parties presenting themselves for these elections?
I see Cameroonians as people who want change, but they have been pushed far to the wall, and there is a lot of fear.
Okay.
A lot of fear in their minds. They just want to make ends meet. They've decided to ride their bikes, push their cars, do anything they want to do, and even bribe the police to give peace a chance. These are very nice people, very unique people in this world, especially in Africa, that you can do anything to them and unravel their fortune, and they will still be looking at you so peacefully. So it's not by the grace of the government shouting at them and bullying at them, it's by the nature of their behavior that we just want us to live in peace. And I'm so proud of them. But now when it comes to the people wanting a change, they want change in every way. They want change in every way. They want possibilities in every way. But unfortunately, it's not coming. And if we don't take care during this election so much, things will not change much. But this is the best time for Cameroon to enjoy and get the oxygen that we in the Cameroon Reformation Party, we have got the packages, very fruitful packages, very, very fruitful, including with every person.
Yeah, but Cameroonians have not heard a lot about the Cameroon Reformation Party. Why?
We are releasing the information. Like now, when you look at the phones we got campaign phones. We got all the information we need. We got, even if we want to harvest anything in the country, even fish out telephone numbers and contact them we want. We're monitoring nice and clear and concisely to see exactly what we have to tell them. But we see them as our people. We see them as the lovely people of Cameroon. But unfortunately, we also are shortcut on the way of how much can we deliver to them to give them the information that needs them to be changed.
Yeah, we already have so many political parties. Why did you people see the need to create another party, the Cameroon Reformation Party? What is it that it is coming to add or to fix on the political landscape in Cameroon?
The vision is the first thing.
Okay.
Our vision is clear in diamond clarity, and I say it every time. If you know how diamond is clear, that's how our vision is clear. Very nice and concise. We have a very good imagination to imagine how a Cameroonian will look like in the future, and how a Cameroon that is fair for all and inclusive for everyone, how it will look like. We have included things like, just imagine, as I told you last time, mobile medics, or even Cameroon Health Bureau. A bureau where each Cameroonian is entitled to see a doctor whenever he is needed, and wherever they are. And this is something that they can never have to imagine deep into those people that are running the country at the moment. That's not all about it. We're going right into culture. Look at your organization. They have been haunted. People, journalists, good people, who wants to share news and make people look happy and get the information they deserve. They have been haunted for many years in the country. They have been haunted. They just want to break them down. If you don't tell the people in the government what they want, then you become an agent provocateur, and which is not right. Then look at the music industry, an industry that brings a lot of money in the culture of Cameroon. Billions to be harvested from there, but nobody even thinks about it, and how to protect a Cameroon musician, how to make a very strong music industry and an association where piratation, copyright laws and all those things are fixed, so that these people that are creative, they should enjoy being creative for the benefit of the country. Who has thought about that? Only Cameroon Reformation will think about that. Look at the tourist industry. We expect billions and billions and billions of francs CFA. Even in dollars, we can flourish this country. The only tourists coming to this country are Cameroonians. How many? This is Douala. This is a nice city. But you don't see any foreign person from Kenya, South Africa, white people, British, French, and you don't see them because of the political restrictions. People are so much having things to hide. Then creating that our young people don't have jobs. Just imagine we were doing all this, our soya and all these things, and they are open air barbecues, mostly done by Cameroon. Do you know how much I will empower those roasting these barbecues? And how much billions will pour into this country because somebody is coming and be able to eat a barbecue, nice roasted meat along the roadside.
Yep. How do we make Cameroon a very attractive tourist destination so that what you are talking about is fulfilled?
Very easy. Very easy in one way. The roads. When people can explore the remote areas, the cultural background and the rest, they can move easily. The roads are the main thing. Then the environment. What is wrong with this country is hygiene. Hygiene is extremely low. Quality standards are low because the government don't even look into anything. And they don't know any little thing that they can do. So quality and hygiene is the problem. Look at Douala, sewage systems are not there. Sewage flowing into the roads. People digging shallow toilets and water is just flowing everywhere. But why will you think that when a tourist comes and see all these things, he will not like it? The beaches are so fanciful. Imagine if you just leave Kribi, arrive in Limbe. We could even make so fanciful hotels and so nice things, even open it up. But there are lots of restrictions within this government because they have a lot to hide than to give.
Okay, good things, Mr. Liu. That's my countryman talking my mind. All what he's saying is just the truth. Boo is writing from Limbe. Yeah. If you have a question for our guest tonight, send the question. I'll put them through to him. I hope you are ready for all the questions that are going to be coming. So if you're watching the program, you have a question for him, send it. I'll ask him. So what you are talking about essentially is that for us to attract tourists into Cameroon, we need to clean up our cities.
Yes.
We also need
the routes.
To fix the roads so that the remote areas are accessible.
Yes.
Yes.
When we tidy the roads, the mosquitoes will disappear. Mosquitoes are dirty animals or insects. They don't like cleanliness. When the place is nice and fresh like this, you can sleep here, you will never get one tiny one of them will not come. They are coming because the environment is very untidy, very, very dirty. And our people we've voted for many years, 42 years, even 50, 60, 65, none of them have done anything good. And let me tell you now, we are at the heart of the elections. And the only one of the organizations that can set this country with a vision, a mission, and imagination for youth generation is the Cameroon Reformation Party. And we are happy that we are going through an ally with Serge Espoir Matomba. And he is so proud of me, and he's so happy to have met someone like me with a concise vision. I see even the next 50 years, I will tell you what will happen. And I'm so proud of it. And I will tell you where Cameroon will be, even if another party takes over. I
was going to come to that, the reason why you decided to endorse Serge Espoir Matomba, that is the person you are endorsing for these campaigns. Why the choice on him? What is outstanding that he has done so far? Because he's also been on the political landscape for some time now. What has he done?
First of all, when you make an ally, you go on accountability. Accountability is the basis of politics. With no accountability, you are not doing politics. So we exchange, we give and take, first of all, on accountability. And then the ideology behind the creation of his party was a bit similar, but not up to 80%, but the 20% left could be made on give and take. So the time he created the party and the time I created my party, the name of his party, Renovation, and the name of my party, Reformation. So that has brought us a bit nearer together. And then now, the mission of why are we going in, or you going in for presidency, what will you do? Just imagine us tabling a shadow cabinet as the first party in the whole of this country to have tabled a shadow cabinet and nominating lots of other political parties, which they are now trying to copy my footsteps, to nominate a shadow cabinet, and even listing some other things that were so detrimental for the regime of this country. To have mentioned that when there was a crisis in this country, we named a minister for Southern Cameroon crisis. Just imagine what would this. It was so nice.
Yeah, but when you appoint a minister for the crisis after the
a place where we can agree on there and say, look, we used to be at this place as a federal country, two-state federal, but now I am visioning a parliamentary system for Cameroon, a weak central president with a prime minister that are for two sides. And that is what I think is fair for this country. Then now we giving and taking. He has even accepted to be on the table and going to this detrimental give and take, those difficult topics that some of them will not even accept, to even listen to some prolific politicians like myself. Although I'm not really counting myself as a politician, I'm counting myself as a freedom person that has come to give the grapevine information of Cameroonians. So I have seen somebody that is very flexible in political ideologies, like myself, like Serge Matomba, who is very flexible. Very, very flexible enough, and giving and taking and accepting accountability on where do you get your money, Mr. Serge. Can I see even your bank statements for the last 3 years? Because what if we agree like this and you're one of those black legs on politics, and we arrive at the next day of campaign tomorrow, you tell me, look, all those things we agree, we refuse. And I hope that I should join back.
That is what I was going to ask. What is the guarantee that you have agreed with Serge Espoir Matomba? You are coming with a vision of yours, and then Serge Espoir Matomba also has his own vision for this nation, and he has agreed that you will merge to come to find common ground. What is the guarantee that if he takes power, he's going to respect what you are proposing?
That's a nice question, because in a coalition, there are procedures, and there are procedures that guarantees them. And we cannot elaborate them right on the stadium, but there are procedures of giving and taking and documenting and accepting and having power with no struggle. We are not fighting positions within us, like, okay, if you take over, I'm going to be the president, after 5 years you give me. We're just fighting to free Cameroon. Once he pronounced to me that my dream is a Cameroon that is also fair for all, and I said my dream is a Cameroon fair for all and not just for a few, then we are accepting.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Franklin, watching from Kumba. I am really enjoying the program. I wish to ask Mr. Lang what his party has as regards to the Anglophone problem.
Well, Mr. Leo, I want to thank you very much for the question. I am one of the Cameroonians that you can rely on and you can tangibly think about and listen to. As far as you will know, if you've been watching on the internet and on our website, you will see that we already have launch a shadow cabinet that includes that we are going to create a minister dedicated only to solve the Anglophone crisis, and also that we are looking for a federal system in Cameroon so that we are both inclusive and both cultures are protected and reserved.
Okay.
Yes. So I hope I answer your question, Mr. Liu.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. Please ask Mr. Lang whether he is Mr. Ka son from Way in womb. Mama Elizabeth from Boya. Actually, it's from Way. Yes, are you?
No, Mr. Ka, my father gave the name to the son, who is called Lang Albert, but we are close neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are very close neighbors.
Where, around Kalakala?
In Kalakala, after Kalakala, Mr. Ka, then on the left is us, the biggest compound that was there. So our name was renowned. So my father gave the name to the son of Mr. Ka.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Valdez from Tico. I think all these other parties should form a coalition with the SDF because it's the most logical party. President Lee, good evening, Mr. Kum. If the president creates a ministerial office in charge of the crisis, don't you think the crisis will remain unresolved forever? Because the minister in charge will not want to solve it, since he will want to remain a minister forever. And with the funds involved, Boss J, writing from mile 4 in Limbe.
Hi, Boss J. That is a good question. Let me just cut it short. Yeah, that's a good question. Forming a minister for Southern Cameroon and creating a federal Cameroon is a solution. We are not only creating a ministerial position, we also having it strongly on our manifesto that the Cameroon is going to be back in the 60s and 61s as a federal state. So having a minister is there to just solve the problem of the infighting. But the policies of the party states that once we take over power, Cameroon is going to go back as a federal state.
Yes, that is your position.
Yes.
But you have to also agree with what Serge Espoir Matomba will be bringing.
That's what I'm saying now, that we are on a give and take. And in the give and take, those are intense things to be talked about.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening to the house. I am McDonald talking from Miami in the southwest region. I have a few questions for Mr. Lang Foligar. What keeps you motivated to keep pushing forward even when challenges feel overwhelming? If you had a chance to start your career all over, what is one thing you would do differently? What advice would you give to young Cameroonians who want to follow in your footsteps but don't know where to start? In your view, what is the biggest change Cameroon needs right now for the youth to thrive? Can we start with the last?
Yeah. The last one, creativity. Myself, I'm a creative thinker. I am so pushful in my ways of, I'm determined. So determination and hard work is a primary prerequisite for success. So to be a Cameroonian that wants to follow my footsteps, you need to be hard work, determination, which are the prerequisite parameters to success. So, and that is what I use on my day-to-day living. I go in and out of the country every month and I come back, I'm fearless. So because fear is the principal handicap in human evolution. So to be a Cameroonian that want to follow the footsteps of Mr. Lang, who is speaking here, the leader of the Cameroon Reformation Party, you need to have those principles in place. Fear is the principal handicap in human evolution, so do not be afraid of what you don't know. The second thing is that to succeed, you have to sacrifice and live difficult times. For success is only through hard work and determination.
Okay. Somebody says, good evening, sir. A nice program. That's my classmate. Yeah. It has been 20 years plus without seeing ourselves. Good luck and courage to him. Please, I would like, would be grateful to you to have his number so that we can talk. Joseph is writing from Small Support in Boya. Joseph, I will send you his number.
Greet Joseph and say I used to live in Small Support and I used to walk to go to school in down Moliko. From Small Support. So that shows him how determined I used to live in Small Support.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening. Please, I want to find out if Cameroon Reformation Party is different from the Reform Party, and it's Mr. Lan Foligar, a presidential candidate. Mike is writing from Bamenda. Yes, it is different from the Reform Party of Barrister Ashu Emmanuel. Someone has asked where he's been. He's in Douala. He did not succeed to drop his candidacy as a presidential candidate. Mr. Lang also is not running per se as a candidate, but he has endorsed the candidate of PUS, that is Serge Espoir Matomba, and he's outlining what he's bringing to Serge Espoir Matomba's party so that they can merge to work together. He says it is a give and take. Serge Espoir Matomba has a political manifesto. His party also has a vision, and then they are agreeing to see what to take and also give. Good evening to you, Mike. I hope that I've answered your question. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Lou, I'm Terry from the United Arab Emirates. Please ask Mr. Kum what action will be on these present ministers who are misleading the country.
The minister that is misleading the country, we don't have any revenge formality.
Okay.
We don't have any revenge in our policy. We just know that, as I defined economics last time, a country is a country with lots of resources. The resources can never finish in a country. So we are only looking for means to regenerate Cameroon economy and push our youth to work and gain money and make a very reasonable minimum wage and living wage. Those are two things: minimum wage and living wage. We cannot say the minimum wage is 10,000. Meanwhile, you cannot live with 10,000. So we're going to drive up the minimum wage and forget about all these very negative people that have run this country for self-interest, fill their stomachs, buy big cars, damage the cars in 3 years, don't send their children to school, don't even know where some of their children are. So they are not only wicked for Cameroonians, they're even wicked to their families. You don't even see some ministers' children, even some of them, who runs around our cities and create jobs, opportunities for our people.
Their children are ignorant of what the parents are doing. Yeah, so should we really bring them into this discussion?
No, we don't even care. We're just saying that we need to ignore the ministers, regenerate the Cameroon economy, push it far ahead, make a Cameroonian man inclusive in decision making in this country, and make them to live well and be happy and be proud to be born in this country and proud of their leader, the Cameroon Reformation Party leader, Foligar.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm called Mr. Ketum from Libialem. Ask him that what interest does his party have with the Northwest and Southwest, especially the youth? I'm sure you've answered the question on the Anglophone crisis already.
Yes.
Yes.
The federal system will be in place.
Okay. He says these are pushing for a federal system. Thanks very much for your answer. I have been looking for that Lang of Mr. K. The mother was my very good friend. Wish you good luck. Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Herbert, watching from Chang. Please ask Mr. Lang why is it that as a political figure he has not taken any step to fight against the Anglophone crisis for 80 years now, but have the impression that he can do that after becoming the president. I am sure that he's inviting you to go to his website and see what he has been doing.
We have been doing and all those things, which means that we got a very magnificent vision for the country that will be so much fair, so much digitalized, so much easy and so much happy to live inside with no cheating. All these organizations tapping money from my people, just tapping money. You send They send text messages randomly and take their money. So we are planning for a Cameroon that is fair for each and every Cameroonian.
Yeah, but that is just for this this stuff. But I'm talking about the banking. Yeah,
those are just examples I've mentioned, so that they know how much we're working in the background. Yeah, working in the background already when we are not.
So even almost everything financial is going to be digitalized. Yeah.
Even ID cards. Why will you ask somebody in his own car or in his house to show an ID when he's not a suspect? By your date of birth, when they ask you, who are you? Just say, I was born in 19 this of September. And then they come out with your name, Mr. Kum Leonad. You say, yes, sir. And your picture will show, and then they can verify you. You don't have any crime. Why will you be harassing my people? Identity cards are not a form of generating money in the Cameroon Reformation Party. They are a method of identification only. So they will be totally 100% free. You don't need to pay.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Moses from Boya. Let the Constitutional Council be a member of different political parties, not only the CPDM. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Elekam and the Constitutional Council holds the keys to the Unity Palace and are all lapdogs of the regime in power. Ben Raphael, writing from Mutengene. This one says. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great work, Mr. Lang. Our Dennis is writing from Small Support. Says I will need his number. Okay, I will send you his.
I used to live with him in the same house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The maker, I cannot do free publicity for you, please, because you are sending me the name of some stuff that if I mention it will be publicity for you. I can't do that. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm really enjoying the program from Tamulung neighborhood in Bamenda. Ask him to remind us of the website address. Ngingi Edwin is my name. Okay.
We got two websites. The one for our alliance, that is fishing. So I will announce that tomorrow. But the one for the Cameroon Reformation Party, which is the largest in the whole country, even the CBDM don't have a website like our own. We include nearly everything that Cameroonians would love to read and enjoy, both in French and in English, and we call it the crpparty.com. crpparty.com.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm interested in your good programs. Ask Mr. Lang why their candidate decided to use the posture that SDF has been using for long and well known. Thanks, Mr. Leo. Willie is writing from Bamenda. Now, but my question has to do with the opposition fragmentation. Why is the opposition so divided, and that is not helping the regime in power?
Last time when we were here in the studio, I told you, creating a political party in Cameroon, even myself when I created the party, I stopped every form of politics for more than 3 years. I created a party in 2010. 2011, 12, 13, even up to 14, I wasn't working. The time they gave me the registration certificate of my party, I created my company in 2013, almost the same day when my party was signed in Cameroon. So I stopped any political activity to enrich myself in business, so that there will be no means for somebody to come in and knock at my door and bribe me and say, take this 1,000 and stop all political activities. What I'm saying here, I'm so happy to say anything that comes from my mouth, because I earn no income anywhere else. I only benefit from my company, which I have envisaged. How many political party leaders in Cameroon did so? Many of them have created parties, and if you ask them, what is your job? None of them will have. What is your job? Some of them fancifully educated, high qualifications. What is your job? What do you give back to Cameroonians currently out of your meager earnings? As a political party leader, from your meager earnings, you can even account for some charity work, some charitable givings, some support of local people, some jobs, some other things to show that you are genuine and bona fide in your political activities. But how many of them, even out of the 12, there are some few, but how many of them that are going in, that are doing bona fide and kind gestures to Cameroonians in a way?
Is that why they are very divided?
They're divided
because they're using politics to make money,
to make earnings, to make family names. Somebody who goes, you know, an African person, sometimes some of them just like to get family names, fanciful names, like I am this, and they are satisfied with that. And that's why Cameroon is so blocked. The junction for Cameroon people is so blocked that because there is no person with a vision, a long-term vision, who can tell you that in this year there will be rain in Cameroon and Cameroonians should get umbrellas ready. because there will be rain on this day in 20 years to come, for example. All of them, all the political, when you come to Europe, you see how political parties and politicians can see for their country. Even before COVID-19 comes out, people have already been announcing to be very careful. We're sensing something nasty that is coming to the world. Why is it in Cameroon that somebody needs to tell them that, oh, get ready for Cameroon, come and support Cameroonians? Because what are our politicians doing? They're hungry. They want to fill their stomachs. They want to make names. And so much things that Cameroonians don't benefit from them. But I thank God that I have come, and I have come for good. And I will not leave unless otherwise.
Okay, good evening once more. McDonald is writing from Yemen. He says Cameroon has talented and hardworking youth, but many feel ignored, unemployed, or forced to leave the country in search of better opportunities. If you were given the chance to sit in front of the nation's leaders today, what one bold change would you demand immediately to give hope and future to the Cameroonian youth?
Immediately is job creation. Cameroon got lots of money.
Okay.
But they are restricted because when you see the government, the plan that is laid out, they centralize the government. I come from abroad. I own a company. I've employed, since I was born, more than 6,000 people since I was born. So now they try to make sure that the government is the powerhouse of the country, not the companies, not the entrepreneurs. But in democratic society, the entrepreneur is the powerhouse of the country. So we're going to empower job creation, companies that create jobs. We're going to make sure that Cameroonians are highly employed and highly trained.
Yes, these are all sloganeering. You are declaring, tangibly speaking, where are these jobs going to come from?
It's very easy. Very, very easy. Tourist industry is dormant. The tourist industry is very dormant. Just look at Kribi, look at Limbe. It's more or less the ministers are living in their own country as if they are borrowing it from somebody, that they will come back and give the country back to somebody. That's why they don't want to fix it. If they really love this country and they are not borrowing it to stay inside, why are they not fixing it? So we are not going to be living in this country as if we're borrowing it from somebody. It's not us who owns the country. We borrow from somebody, which is not true. So we are going to be pumping jobs to young Cameroonians, giving them talents, pushing them on creativity, and even trying to see, when they go into school, we try to send out the jobs in a way that you study what you know. Just like I mentioned in my school I'm building, you will never graduate from my school without having a job. I vow. You will stay there as long until the day you get a job anywhere in the world. Because we'll be teaching you so many basic things. CV building, how to write the CV, resumes, write nice things about yourself, training, practice reading, doing so many good things, and then tabling out your CVs to the world. And then some nice country, and then studying what jobs are highly paid and where they are highly paid. So our children are growing up and they know exactly where to get them. And this government has failed to do this to Cameroonians, and they're now waiting for me to come and do it for them. Okay,
greetings, Mr. Kum. I'm enjoying the program, but came late. I wish to know what is the company of Mr. Lang involved with, watching from Yaoundé. Taco Kelvin is watching us. Taco Kelvin Ayon is watching us from Yaoundé. Yes, maybe he wants to know who you are.
Of course. I am in the recruitment industry.
Okay.
Recruitment industry. I am one of the top Cameroonians that gains jobs from the UK government. We call it, here in Cameroon, they call Marché Public. But in the UK, we call Crown Commercials. And if you put the UK Instant Services Limited, then you will then see how it is spread out in the UK and how we get the jobs and how we train. We're working with local job centers to take people that are looking for jobs and train them and send them to work, supporting the government. And then why can they not trust me?
Yes, but in Cameroon, what jobs have you created?
In Cameroon, yes, of course. I'm building a school in Motengene. There, with the builders and the rest, we already have about 7 people working in the building. I got about 3 diggers in this country with agricultural machines that I've not even invested on, incubators and the rest, the stock. We got 3 diggers, which they are just lying there in Yaoundé, ready to be deployed. Then I got a health center in Yaoundé that is already employing about 1 doctor, 7 other nurses. That is 8 people. In my snack, I got about 6 people working there. If you combine in Cameroon, maybe I got about 15 or 16, 17 people living under my control, which is so much.
Yeah, but for your community, what have you done so far?
Remember when the Amber fighting started, I promised them to drop arms. And I promised to struggle and take over water, to give them at least 4,000 jobs by 2025 this year. But unfortunately, this was overturned because the fighting intensified, and I cannot sacrifice much. Most of the equipment, like incubators, are still lying here. That was from my meager struggle. The JCB diggers, they're still lying here. I got 3 with 1 tractor, with tillers and the rest. But if they had listened to me, for example, we should have been steaming Menchum or even Way or Fungom with at least 2,000 to 3,000 jobs. You know, it's full employment for that type of area if you have 2,000 to 3,000 jobs, just like what I was doing. But who in this country can boast? Just a normal minister.
Why were you organizing a football tournament in Yaoundé and not in Menchum?
I organized in Yaoundé because we were thinking that those people that have come for this, internet displays, they were more in Douala and Yaoundé. So we want to please them. We don't want to frustrate them. We want to make them happy and send back hopes to the village, to the environment. Yeah, so that was why we had to organize the tournament, and it was based on unity and tolerance. Peace, unity, and tolerance. Tolerance was clear-cut, so that people will give chance to peace. When you're doing something, and
were you not also using that as an opportunity to also sell your political plans, vision for this nation?
Of course, I cannot refuse, but I was not really marketing it because the amount of money it cost me, I could do something else to market my politics. But I felt my people at heart. I felt them so deep, and the love I have for them, and the support I want to give them, that is not forthcoming because of the destabilization.
Some of you guys who are into politics, especially those who navigate between Cameroon and either America or the United Kingdom, are not very entrenched in the activities of their local communities. How involved are you in activities back in Way Village, in a Menchum division, and maybe Northwest region?
Remember, I'm just coming back from the village 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
yeah, I went to Way Village. I went to Wum. I have to see for myself. I went to so many other villages. I went to Ndob, which I don't relate. I went to Bali, which I don't relate. And then I tore over Bamenda. So I just want to see for myself what is happening and how can these people be supported. Who can support them more? Who can talk to them nicely? And who can give them hopes? Because even just giving them hopes can abate the fighting. Because some of the fighting is just lack of hopes. I have mentioned here that people have been pushed to the brick wall, pushing to the brick wall where there's no other road to pass through. Then they're bouncing back, and you're fighting them. But unfortunately, I am here that we are not going to be pushing you to the brick wall. We're going to be giving you hopes that you're human. You have the right to breathe as well as us, the government, and you have the right of will and wisdom and happiness and many other good things. And that is exactly what I was doing. And I reached right there. The dance, the cultural groups, they came out, they danced. And my fingers were crossed that I don't owe anybody anything here. I have never done something bad to anybody here. I know they are fond of kidnapping people, but I also pray that they shouldn't put me among those people that have been agent provocateurs, people provoking situations. But unfortunately enough, I left peacefully. And I came to Bamenda, toured the whole areas, went around, went to Bali, and even walked in Bali for a long distance, almost about a kilometer.
What took you to Kumba recently?
In Kumba, our youth groups, that's the second place, the third place in Cameroon, where there are lots of internet displays, is Kumba. So that took me to Kumba to support the way youths, giving them things that they need to support themselves, to get their community house set up where they can hold their meetings and then do their things, their community activities. So I gave them some clothes to give to the internally displaced if they want to sell them or they want to raise some funds with it. So I have to give them, which they officially requested from me.
Okay. Good to see you in the studio. Please, I wish to know what plans Mr. Lang is having for the country and the youth. Urich is watching us from Bamenda. He says, please read my message. I've read. I'm sure he answered your question already. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love the program. I want to ask, will he not be taking orders from the Western world, thereby remaining as a puppet ruler? Tani Frida is writing from Muyuka.
The Western world is not our enemy.
Okay.
They complete what we cannot do. They complement us and we have to complement them. We need to carefully look into, when dealing with them, and that the contracts that they are signing, we're hitting them for nothing because our leaders are putting the money in their pockets, not telling us with accountability how much is coming in for cocoa, how much is coming in for petrol, crude oil, how much is coming in for coffee, and all those natural resources that they're tapping from here, timber and the rest. If our leaders were giving account with the stock exchange, how much we are generating from all our natural resources, I don't think that there will be anybody here that will be enemy for the West. But unfortunately, we got very scrupulous leaders that are taking everything and not giving accountability to anyone. And then we're thinking that we are the puppets of the West. They are complements. The left and the right hand are not enemies. They complete one another. But let the body of the person that has the left and the right hand be accountable for their actions. So our leaders have not been accountable, and we don't want to hold them accountable. We want to wage them out nicely and bring everything to the table. Let the Cameroon person have a voice on what is coming in and where is it going to. And then you will see now that we don't need to get anybody to be our enemy and being a puppet. When they give us 100 billion, for example, and I table 100 billion on the table, and this, what can we do with the 100 billion? This is exactly what they're doing in the UK and the rest of the places. You will know exactly where it's going to. Roads, we're taking 5. Water, electricity, and all those things. But now they're taking the money and then they're building some crazy houses. Some houses you've never seen in any part of the world. Then they're even using the money to do silly things. But then the country is stuck in one place. But we are coming to liberate the country that every Cameroonian has a decision to make in what is coming in. Okay,
good evening, Mr. Liu. And one major aspect about His Excellency is the fact that he's entrepreneurially oriented, and once you find a man who knows how to create value, a ecosystem for financial attraction, know that that individual is a rare potential. May God help him. I would like to have his contact. Thank you. Elvis is writing from Bonaberry, somewhere here in Douala. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Mr. Lang sound professional, speaking professionalism. He's a visionary. Frank is also writing from Limbe. We say the opposition is fragmented. You claim that is because they are there for money. But now, if they're there for money, why can't we see at least 5 of them, 6, because we have over 300 political parties in Cameroon? Why can't we even find 6 of them coming together?
With the 300, some have become so much fearful for the regime. Remember, back in the days, we used to be beaten up in the name of Kale, just subjugate human beings, children, boys, and ask them to creep, even in Muteng and anywhere. So people are so much fearful to speak, because the regime used the bullying system for so long to beat up people who speaks. Even I speak, but it just takes me a bit of courage to speak. But some people are so much fearful. They've created parties, but they cannot speak because they are just much worried of what to say and when to say. Deep into the minds and the future of this country to see that we should be very much successful as this year's, and especially this 2025 is around.
Now, some political parties prefer to boycott these elections. They have also boycotted previous elections, claiming that if you were to run for these elections, you are legitimizing a flawed system. What would you tell them?
What I would tell them is that we need to try. If you try and don't get it, try and try again.
Okay.
So we should keep on trying, and then see that we have been trying. And then the system is corrupted and highly corrupted than anywhere else in the planet as far as elections are concerned. We only see this type of corruption in military juntas, but we now see it in Cameroon, where ministers are so much bullying and very ready to even assassinate people when they give out their decrees. They don't even give out the decrees of conformity, where Cameroonians can even sit down and enjoy and feel peaceful and feel secured. They are just frightening people. Everything that comes out of their mouth is frightening. But we have decided that, okay, let's just be pushing slowly and steadily. We already come from the viewpoint of that person who asked the question, and that why can we not boycott, or why they feel that they should boycott. Also think of it that we have not seen our leader for a couple of years, and they have never been ministerial reshufflements. They have never been anything. And whoever is in charge.
Who has not seen the leader?
We. we Cameroonians. You've seen on TV is not the act of seeing. You've not seen anybody.
20th May, he was there.
No.
He was there at the ceremonial ground.
That's not seeing. That's not
he
seeing.
was there at the ceremonial ground, and he received people at the Unity Palace. And recently, we saw him with the Apostolic Nuncio at the Unity Palace, and we saw him with the French ambassador to Cameroon.
I will tell you now that you saw on the television.
Yes.
Yeah, the television,
you want to see him?
The television is not the art of seeing.
You want to see him live?
We used to see him. We used to see him in 1980s, 81, 82, 83, 1982, 83, 84, right up in the 90s, even 2000s. We used to see him. We used to see him so many times.
Why did you not go for the 20th May celebrations?
I don't want to go deep into that. And I know what I'm talking about.
Why did you not go to the 20th May?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to go into that. It's a lot to explain.
Okay. Let's move this discussion further. Someone says, "Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Leonard from Tico. I wish to ask Mr. Lang that what changes can he bring to the educational system of Cameroon, because our educational system is really a problem." You think so?
Education is a huge problem. Huge. Look at the children. Go to Boya. You can't basically cross my 17 molecule. They educate there, they remain there. Whatever they're doing there, who knows? When I go there...
Okay, they graduate and remain in Boya.
There. Yeah. That's you go to SWA, they graduate and remain there. Who knows what they remain there and do? And nobody even question it. And I go there, sometimes I shed tears. The last time I went to Boya, I nearly shed tears because I see our young people just running down the drain, finishing from university, having no basic, nothing to do to even encourage them. But now, the curriculum is going to change. First of all, it's going to be changing, and the report cards are going to be progress reports, not just report cards. And things are going to turn around and give more strength and more encouragement and more hopes and more possibilities of success when you go to school in this country. And the curriculum is going to change. Just imagine the type of school I'm building there in Mutangeni, one of the best in the country.
Okay. Now, you say we should not boycott elections. They have to go. Keep trying.
Try again.
Okay. Now, tell me about the institutions in Cameroon. Many persons say our institutions are weak. Is it the institutions that are not well framed, or persons managing these institutions that are weak themselves?
It is the people that has the ego. When people are appointed to manage institutions, they become eccentricity. They want to make themselves eccentric, and so they get egocentric.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what is worrying this government. And so there's no one. It's just like back in the days when they would say, go to some city and see one good person, and you can go there and see none. If you go into the government, you see no one good one. Even from those that are elected from the opposition, no one that stands for the sake of the people. So the institution the system that they've put in place, they are not really strong enough and functional. Take the case of Camtel. Take the case of Camwater. Take the case of Inyo, Sonel, and all what not. What are they giving to the Cameroonians? Take the case of MTN. Take the case of Orange. What are they giving to Cameroonians? They're just ripping off take the case of even the police department. Just basically ripping off. Take the case of the banks. Just imagine going to take a loan from a Cameroon bank. You can easily go bankrupt. Taking a loan from the bank, you can go bankrupt instead of getting rich and paying back the loan. So those institutions are horrible, and the Cameroon Reformation Party has got a very clear-cut means, and I urge people to read our website and see what we've put there. There are some things that they will need to ask me questions back, but that's fine.
You are a member of Cameroon's opposition.
I'm a member of opposition, yes.
Yes, but some people also think that the opposition spends more time fighting one another than telling Cameroonians what they want to do. Why do you fight other political parties?
When you are not involved,
why don't you ignore them?
When you are not involved, you think that we are fighting.
No, you people are fighting one another.
We are not like really fighting. We are like sharing ideas in a manner. And then those that don't want idea sharing, because they have got stable positions affiliated to the government at some point, makes us look as if we are fighting. We are not fighting. And we are just struggling to share our ideas. And that's why I paved the way narrowly to meet up with Serge Espoir Matumba to see that, okay, let's share ideas and start the alliance here. and then give our terms of alliance and see who accepts that they want to form a credible alliance in Cameroon. And then now, some other groups get up and say they form an alliance, and then take same people that have been so much experienced in the corruption that this country has been going through for so many years, and then pushing themselves now. When do you came to know that this government is not good? When do you came to know that Paul Biya has been running this country for 3 years or 42 years? When do you came to know that Paul Biya wants to be 50 years in power, for example, if he is there? When did they came? And then they just come up now, and then people are saying, they need to unite, they need to unite. How can you unite with people that has been working in the system for so long, and we have been studying them in school many years?
Mr. Lang, are you a Christian?
Yes, of course I am.
Yeah, but have you read about the story of Paul, Saul, who became Paul,
yes,
and became one of the greatest apostles?
Yes.
God changed him.
God changed him.
So why don't you believe that
but you see,
it's possible in Cameroon?
But you see symptoms of Paul or Saul making some changes. But you see people that speaks. Okay, take a basic person that a consensus alliance has been formed and nominate one person who is just a breakaway from a corrupted system that has been there for 43 years, and cannot show you in their own local community what they have done. Are you comparing him with Saul or Paul? You're comparing him with who? This type of people need to just be kept and tell them, look, let us form an alliance and bring you in to train you when you come back into this world to run other people, if in case you have to come back, unfortunately.
Okay, I don't know what the audience make of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But even Mr. Kum, the guest has not answered the question what he has done in Cameroon or where he's coming from. I'm writing from Banga. He has done that. Maybe this question came before.
And the lucky thing, let me just answer. I was in Banga, I think, last week and a half. Okay. I was the one on the stage with Sesh Matumba. I spoke in Pidgin, and they were so much amazed.
Okay.
I break down Banga into so many bits.
Okay.
I showed them the possibility of Banga, the success that the regime have been keeping away from Banga people, the history of Banga, and the more possibilities that lies ahead. And they were so much amazed. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm John, watching from Mundimba. I like the program of what your colleague is saying. Good evening. Mr. Liu, greetings to your guest. I am enjoying the program with Mr. Lang. Just seeing and knowing him for my first time, I'm just wondering aloud why all the opposition parties cannot unite and stand against the common enemy, which will guarantee us victory. Fai John is writing from Banyo. Good evening. A political operates on a manifesto. We haven't seen your manifesto. Stanley Lawrence is writing from Bomenda. I'm sure he's talked about that. Greetings, Mr. Liu. I'm Prince Sofilo, writing from Kumbo. Please help me ask Mr. Lang what are his measures to revamp the penitentiary system in Cameroon that has been abandoned to itself as if it's been privatized.
Not only the infrastructure is being abandoned, even the workers have been looked at like underdogs. Penitentiaries, they've been looked like underdogs. We see the way they treat them, the way they even do, they abandon their offices, abandon everything. You're working as if you're working in a pig's fence. And these are genuine people, nice people that have decided to support this system to be safe from criminals. And then you look at them as if they are nothing in front of you because there are no ways to do corruption within their department. Well, that's one of the departments that corruption is there, but in a way that they cannot do that harvesting in a huge way because they've structured it in a funny style. And these people, they are really struggling, and they are one of the top in our minds. Some of the prisoners and some of the workers will be looked after. They will be having lots of medical facilities inside anywhere they are detaining people. We think that you cannot detain any human being without giving them possibilities of food. It's a criminal offense and a sin against humanity that you detain a human being even for hours without giving him access to clean drinking water where you're detaining him, without giving them sustainable place to sleep, and without giving them food. You deprive them of natural things in the planet.
Which means huge investments are going
to go in there. Those are the places that it's humanity, it's about blood. And this regime is horrible. They don't even think, they think that they're now animals. For when you detain a criminal, you just deprive them on having nice bath, nice clothes, even just to even have a good rest. Do some exercises so that you don't attract some illnesses in there, and then get some good food and good drinking water, because and get medical assistance, get hospitals inside there. If I go here to Newberry, I will create a hospital in there and keep a doctor there standing by 24/7 to look after the prisoners. Their only problem is that they are kept safe because they are criminals. Keeping them safe from the public doesn't mean that you want to kill them in a very nasty way. And so the Cameroon Reformation Party is very concise in that.
You are worried about the situation of warders, those that are taking care of the prisoners?
Both of them. They keep the warders, very good people who are keeping our community safe from criminals. Then the government looks at them as this piece of shit. But we are going to work with them and keep them so nice and respect them.
Why do you think they treat warders like a piece of shit?
Because the possibilities of corrupting that areas and getting those huge sums of money for their cars is a bit limited, because those criminals don't really have where they will be giving out some money for a warder to carry an envelope and carry it to somewhere.
Are you encouraging them to be receiving some money from
I'm not
from
encouraging.
prisoners? Yes.
I'm just saying that that's the government plan, but our plan is different.
Okay.
The government plan is where they tie the goat. That's where the goat eats.
Okay.
So you can even stay without salary because you're tied in a nice, lucrative place.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is Ter Pascal Chair. I'm watching and enjoying the program from Bafmeng. Kudos to Mr. Lang Foligar from the way he speaks. It proves that he has the people at heart and is ready to rewrite the story of this country. More power. Let's look at the plans you and Serge Espoir Matumba you have for our roads.
The road infrastructure, I've already said, the first one day, at least, the first detrimental law, 3 meters away from the road, where the people, my people, are moving, not moving on the road with the cars. That's the first thing we're going to do, we're clearing off, because we know that people are suffering. The regime has taken everything and put it in their pocket. So our people are now struggling to get even 1 centimeter of piece of a place to sell something. But fortunately enough, we're going to be diversing their vision and creating opportunities for who they are and how they have to live in their country. So those roadsides will be cleared off immediately and tidied off, so people move in pavements, not moving in the middle of the road. And then we're going to sell all their products. We're going to sell all their products, 60 million, 100 million. And we know that the government and 30,000 of them in this country, from the DOs to the governors, to the ministers, to the directors.
You want them to be using bikes?
No, they need to buy their cars. We're paying them salaries. They need to use the money to live in the planet. They need to keep the money. Where are they going to use the money? When? Why are they keeping the money and buying products and abandoning our roads? When we're paying you salary that is capable for you to live in the planet. Use the money that you're being paid for to live your luxurious life. The government gives no products easily. Yeah, so we're selling them off and we're making them. We know that with 3,000 products in this country, with kilometers of roads, even Yaoundé Douala will be better than now.
Okay, so but you've not spoken about the ring road there. It's also a worry for the people of the Northwest.
Look at the Northwest. We were talking with my colleagues, my manager today. I said, I wish that this opportunity comes through. I got my digger there that is not doing anything.
What do you call digger? You say you have 3 of them?
Yeah, I got three.
What diggers? The
JCB, side masters, the caterpillars.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just lying there because there are some restrictions on not make. But the good news also is that people from my local community, they are now thinking to apply that. Let the council give them their community area to be fixing up in their way. Maybe I decide to support them if the council accepts, then I will use. But now look at the opportunities we're looking. When we're driving down from Yaoundé to Douala to see you, we've seen lots of farmlands, lots of opportunities, lots of places where women and children could go and do holiday jobs. Should we be doing lots of agriculture? Now look at the ring road in the Northwest. Massive plantations could be lying there, transporting food within and without the country. Massive. And it turns a GDP that no rural urban migration will happen in Cameroon. This linear settlement, just lining houses along the roadside, this will stop. You see, when there's a vision within the country, there is prosperity. Yeah, but unfortunately, the people, I don't know how blind they should be, very blind. A country that needs to be fair for everyone, then make the country be fair only for them.
Okay. Would you permit individuals who want to construct roads into their homes or quarters be able to do that, or the way things are going to stay the way they are today?
No, the way it is that into your door from the
main road
to the main roads, you can have your rights. which means this is the main road passing. This road is coming to your door. If it is at the detriment of your life and your movement of your children and the rest,
you can tie
it. You can tie it. But the main government roads, when we say N3, N1, N whatever, government would do that. But when we come now that from the end route, this one is going to inside your door, 10 meter, 20 meter, 15 meter, government can give you right to do that one if the government cannot support you to do it, of which we are very sure that we will be able to do all of those.
Okay. There's still so many questions that are coming in. I hope we... Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm so much enjoying the program. Please ask Mr. Lang what he will do to stop the issue of these youths who draw tattoos on the body, sack their trousers, wear crop tops, and taking drugs and destroy their youthfulness. Delphine is writing from Mutengene.
That happens because there's no role modeling in the country.
Okay.
They're copying people that they see on their mobile phones and on the television. Cameroon is going to have role models. People like myself, that children will look up to and say, I want to be like Mr. Lang. People like yourself, I want to be like Mr. Kum Leonad. So this is happening because they don't have role models. We are going to create a country with a full people that wants to work for the country, nice, clean people, tidy, doing exactly good things and transparent things that children will be going to school and be wanting to be like this person. But in Cameroon, people want to be like 50 Cent. They don't even know him because they've looked around the whole country. They don't see anybody that they could look like. But now they'll be looking up to me. They'll be looking up to people like yourself and some few others. Okay. But unfortunately, they don't have. So that will just dissolve by itself because the government will not have any right to be deciding on personal issues. But the government will be guiding these children nicely, and they'll be seeing some nice Cameroonians emerging and doing very nice things that children would like to look like them.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The Constitutional Council has the key to the Unity Palace. If all the members of the Constitutional Council are all civilian, what do you expect? The Electoral Code should be modified in such a way that each political party has a member in the Constitutional Council. Please ask Mr. Lang his thoughts on this. Eta is writing from Boya. I'm sure we talked about that already. But according to the law, you're supposed to drop your party affiliation once you are appointed. So they are not there on behalf of the CPDM, except that they themselves are not fair.
According to the law, where they sleep with the laws on their beds. They change the constitution when they want. They're actually sleeping, instead of cuddling their wives, they're sleeping with Cameroon constitution in their beds and changing it when they want. Okay,
good evening, Mr. Kum. I love the program and it's so educative. Please, Mr. Lang should remind us with the name of the party again. I'm late for the program. Mandela is writing from Mutengene. It is the Cameroon Reformation Party. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Greetings to you and the crew on board. Please kindly help me tell the president that I'm not comfortable with some of the things he's saying. Okay, Acha Muta watching live from Ngomgam. Okay, yes, not everybody. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your program is truly inspiring. I'm Daniel from Bali, Nyonga. May I ask, when you say you visited Bali, which of the Bali exactly did you mean? Please be clear, and not just poetic.
Bali Kumbat.
Okay, you were in Bali Kumbat.
Yes.
Okay, you was in Bali Kumbat.
I left the park and
we'd love to know how you plan to enrich our educational system, improve our road network, strengthen our medical services, and promote the consumption of locally made goods.
We already know that we need to strengthen the economy of this country. We need to know how to make Cameroonians become creative. The Cameroon idea protected, copyright reserves, and make sure that Cameroonians are doing things that are going into the international market. This country is so dormant under the regime that there's nothing that is actually created by a Cameroonian and that is in the market. And we are just going to be doing that so that our children, our girls and boys that are growing up in a country where there are
so many things that are made in Cameroon. So
but
many.
Not in the international market as much. Yeah, the quality standard will improve. Just imagine we creating a minister for food distribution and quality. Food sold on the ground. Why will you nourish your spirit with food sold on the ground? I pass there in Mokola, I see horrible food right on the ground. Tomatoes on the bare ground. But we're going to implement processing, cleanliness, tidiness, everything, so that we enjoy processing. And then people are growing up in a country with a vision, with industries, thinking how to even convert tomato into a sauce that can be bought even in another country.
Okay, you asked about road system. I'm sure he talked about that already, and the system of education. So, good evening, Mr. Liu, and your guest. I just want to say, Mr. Liu, you're doing a great job. Keep up. Alino is writing from Limbe. Thank you very much, Alino. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Madam Ijang writing from Boy. I love your program. Greetings to your guest. Thank you very much, Madam Ijang. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I love this man's presentation and his vision. Can I have his number? Chiban, with Chaban Levy writing there. Good evening to you. I'll send you Mr. Foligar's number. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Mr. Lang is a very good speaker, well articulate and very informed of Cameroon's challenges, but I don't know what problem he has against Chiroma. Tony is writing from Boya.
I'm not calling anybody's name.
Okay.
But maybe he thinks I'm talking about Chiroma, but I'm just generally talking. There are some of them, many of them that are still going in. 12 of them, there are 12 candidates.
Okay.
But a few of them have been here for a couple of years and roaming around within the government and changing their hats every time. And they've come back again and wanting us to align behind them. That's something that is good. But now, what have they got that is so different? Why were they not seeing these errors? These errors have been with the regime for 42 years.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Greetings to you and Mr. Lang. I'm Dr. Festus Ambe, watching from Kumba. Please ask Mr. Lang what his party, the CRP, plans to do with the constant power outages and renewable energy.
Yeah, renewable energy is very prime because there are lots of Cameroon electricians. I see some of them in Europe. Lots of them working with E.ON, working with some very big European companies, especially in the UK. So I see them, and they are so good. And just imagine these guys were working in Cameroon, protecting our electricity, creating more, having a national grid. A national grid is where there's a junction. If you have your own excess electricity, maybe you got solar panels, it comes into the grid so another person can use it. Repositioning the way we're building our houses. Our houses are so dark inside. The windows are so narrow. I know people. I don't know why they're keeping the windows so narrow, and then they're facing in the wrong direction sometimes. So we consume more electricity continuously in so many houses with 24/7 round the clock of lighting. So we're going to train people, make sure our builders know how to look where sunrise, sunsets, how houses need to face, how light needs to come into the house. So we preserve more electricity, and we have to generate more. We did have a dam in Yoke. We did have the Menchum Falls. We have many others that are currently working. We will revamp and improve. Cameroon got lots of money, and we are going to use the money genuinely for the sake of our people.
Okay, greetings, Mr. Liu. I think an opposition creating another political party is a waste of time and waste of resources because most of them have the same objectives to unseat the ruling party. You can't do that by creating another party, which is already a strategy of the ruling party, divide and rule. He had started with an alliance with other parties to boost his political journey and popularity. Terence, too, is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you, Terence. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Peter watching from Bamenda this evening. Continue with the good work. Thank you. Please ask your panelist what he will do to stop criminals stealing rights from prisons, mostly former workers of communication companies. A friend of mine is a victim of Momo scam recently, and upon tracking, it was discovered that the criminals did this right from the prison. So many persons are reporting on this.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that there's going to be accountability. Softwares is going to solve all these problems with two-factor authentication. That is easy. So it's going to be easy. Two-factor authentication means that you get a message, you send back the message, then you have access. So that is more straightforward. Applications will help because you have it on your phone, and it helps you to do your day-to-day transactions and anything that you want, of which no one is helpful to, even within the government, to track down all these things. We're going to be working on them. Remember, I've also said that I am more versed with the software industry, which is part of my business memorandum in the UK. The first memorandum is temporary employment agency activities. The second is web portals, creation of web portals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Allah is writing from the program with keen interest. I appreciate the guest in the studio for being so explicit in every aspect. I wish to find out when his school in Mutengene will go operational. Thanks. Dick Muti is watching from Tiku Road in Mutengene. The school is still under construction. Good evening, Mr. Liu.
We think that the school should be open next year.
Okay.
That's what we're driving for. But the technology that is accompanied with it is the delaying factor, not even the building of it.
Okay.
The quality of the building, education in this country, and even around the world, needs to speak to the mind of the student. It contributes to about 25–50% of the education factor, just the building itself, the environment, the school environment. Not what the teacher teaches you. So when we start building and we start creating an environment that speaks to the mind of the student, then that builds the student. Even if he drops out of my school, he's going to be very much successful in his life, because he's seen things that he's never seen in his life. He even ponder on things like, well, how did this happen to be like this? But they're creating portraits here, building some long corridors as if they want to put some chicken insides, and with lots of money, billions pouring in to build a school. But you see the school is like a poetry.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum and Mr. Lang. I wish to know from Mr. Lang if he's having plans on the modification of our constitution relating to bringing the vice president and equally reducing the presidential term from 7 to 5 years, renewable ones. Mr. Mbu, writing from Bonaberry.
Oh, but that's one of the top. We created the Cameroon Reformation Party because we want to do constitutional reforms and any other reforms, education, women and children, dual nationality, health, transport, and the rest. Now, we plan to restructure the constitution, and then we also have a plan that we're going to parliamentary cabinet and with a federal system for both sides of Cameroon, both the Anglo-Cameroon and the Franco-Cameroon, which means that we're going to have two federal systems back as it was in the 1960s. So that's what we plan to do, and having a weak central government with a strong prime minister elected by the people, and a president that is elected by the parliament at a very reasonable short period, who is only symbolic.
Okay. I hope you are satisfied with his answer, that the person who asked that question. Let me take this one. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm Joseph watching from Malindi. Kudos to you and the guest. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm Abraham Neng, writing from Muyuka. Your program is very interesting, especially with Mr. Lang. Thank you all for the great discussion. And good evening, Mr. Liu, and your guest, Mr. Lang. I'm Nanje Gilbert in Likoko, mile 14, Munyenge. That's after Munyenge. Concerning the aspect of road, how can Mr. Lang do in an area like Douala to create space for better roads, mindful of the way houses are built in Douala? He should talk more about that.
No, that's very easy. I drive here every day. I see the mistakes they're doing on the roads. I see that the engineering systems is more money-centered. It's not centered to help the country. It's centered to put money in their pockets. So they're just digging the road and putting pavements. How you put pavement in a national road? Making the car to be steaming when you're driving and scattering the car. These people have amassed a lot of money and put in their pocket, and then trying to satisfy the people with very bad infrastructure. What we're going to do is that just going down to the routes in Douala, just say Bonaberry, or just say, for example, Yassa. As you're coming in, the route is large. It shouldn't have been so much large. It should have been more accurate and smaller. But the alternatives should be built inside and going to the same destination, both left and right. Then now getting in to meet with those ones so that you can still go back to Kribi and or back to Limbe or back to Bonaberry using alternatives, so that there are alternatives. Then now giving a chance for people to leave the road, because the main road is not for construction, it's not for people to stay. They're coming to that road because they don't have jobs. Once they will have jobs, they get up in the morning and go to their job sites, factories, warehouses, farmlands, and all those things, education, schools, offices. You will see now that you will see less people crowded along the roadsides. They're crowded there because the government has decided to take every bit of the government penny of the taxpayer and put in their pockets.
Okay. Now, endorsement and influence. Will you endorse away from this Serge Matomba?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan B? And if one were to say, if you are not endorsing Serge Espoir Matumba, because you see that it is just somebody that is closer to your choice?
We should have, but that is a very tough one to make a give and take, because we already know that we're doing give and take. Unless otherwise, detrimental things about the government systems, the constitution, health, education, those primary things, transport, penitentiary, culture, those very deep things that host a Cameroon person so much relaxed in his country. Unless it goes too firm, then we can decide to say, okay, we've tried our best, Cameroonians, do not vote for this person, and then keep your votes until we see what we will do. And we're thinking that we should try another person, which we are not even up to now seeing any person that we can affiliate to.
Okay.
But also remember, in this election that is so difficult and crucial for Cameroonians, in a country where you don't know whether the leader is there or not, in a country where you find somebody running the country who has not been elected, who has only been a secretary at the presidency, but then how credible are the elections going to hold? So these are things that we
have appointments. We have appointments that are made signed by the President of the Republic. We have decrees that are coming in.
The constitution of this country,
signed by the President of the Republic. We've seen the President receive people at the presidency.
The constitution of this country do not give anyone, even the President, the provision of authorizing somebody to work on his behalf.
But the signatures we find on these documents are the signatures of the President of the Republic.
We're going to be looking into that as well, anyhow. We're going to be looking into that.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying the program. It's very enriching and educative. I'm Siri, watching from Boya. Good evening to you, all of you guys watching us from the capital city of the Southwest region. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Bame Roli, writing from Yaoundé. Please, this question is directed to Mr. Lang, our to-be president. Please let him tell us how he intends to maintain discipline in Cameroon schools, considering the fact that this school, in all learning institution, has been a total failure.
No, there's a problem in Cameroon schools. There's a problem, first of all, not only within the discipline. We don't allow children to leave their father's houses and go and stock themselves for a whole 24 hours below 18 years and not be able to have something to eat. And they have to carry some and go alongside. They go to bake around. This entails lots of indiscipline. This entails lots of difficulties. But also, for those that are above 18, where they can cope now by themselves, we also have a plan to have a way of instructing them. Remember, you go into school, you will not just be going into school, just walking into school. You'll be using a badge, a digital badge, to open the doors. This digital badge relates back to your next of kin, who is your father or your parents, your mother and dad. They know exactly that you are now in class. If you are below 18, they know where you are. They know that you are in class, you are not in class, where were you? So they contribute. Schools will have governors, not only principals. Each school will have a trustee of governors governing the school, where the principal gives accountability to. And these governors will be so much highly educated people that are volunteering to manage that entity, that school. So whether it's a private school or it's a public school, there must be a board of governors that the headmaster or the principal accounts to before it goes to the ministry or to the government departments, so that they have, or those governors with the parents, teachers association combined, where the headmaster gives account before any other thing happens. There
is a problem with the salary situation of teachers, especially in the private sector. Are you aware of that? And what do you think needs to be done?
Not paying anybody a salary is a criminal offense. When you start doing your employment, not paying, as I'm here, I have people earning salaries every week. And every Friday, if you don't earn a salary, it's a criminal offense against me. So wherever I'm going to get the money, let me be ready. Or I declare that I'm not going to run the company again. So opening a school and not being paying people is a criminal offense. And this will need to be looked into carefully. That once you open a school or you have a business, you employ a person who needs to live and pay taxes and eat and stay and relax and feel free and look after medically, you are entitled to pay that person. These things are going to be more decentralized, very, very much decentralized, completely, where there are no authorities just coming from nowhere, ravaging money and bullying people, but the system is going to be very much accountable.
Yeah, but the salary situation, how do we make sure that we normalize the salary situation of a teacher who works for government and those are working for the private sector?
No, remember, working for the private is going to be more enjoyable than working with the government.
Okay.
The government is poor than the private. Where the government's money is paid by taxpayer. The government money got more places to go. So people that work in the private, business people are the wealthy people. There are those people with money.
So you're going to put basic salary?
We're going to put minimum wage. And not only minimum wage needs to be annual livable wage. It means that wage they're paying you, you can live on it. It can not only be minimum, but you can also live on it, which means that if the minimum wage is 75,000 a year, if it cannot cope with you living your day-to-day life, then it's not feasible. So we need to classify it that mixes with inflation to see that the price of goods and services in the system matches for you to live very well with that amount of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Carrington writing from Yoko. Please ask the guest if his party has the opportunity. What would you change first in the constitution, and why would you change it? That's the first thing you should change in our constitution if you were to take part.
First of all, the constitution doesn't need to sleep in anybody's pillow. Nobody got authority to change the constitution by himself. There needs to be a national debate where the parliamentarians or the Senate have to debate to the whole Cameroon that this aspect of the constitution needs to change. That's our most important. The constitution of Cameroon is not too bad in a way. It's practiced very badly. The law is placed onto wrong hands, where people keep it and then just use it so aggressively in a negative way onto our people. But we're going to make sure that it is used and the laws are placed in the right hands. Those exercising our constitution in practice should be people of good morals, good faith, good behavior, and accountable people. Because at the moment, it's deeply placed in the very wrong hands. Just imagine, even some officer just gets you and says, show your ID card, and then you don't show, then they say, come down. And you see some teenage who even try to express that I'm just a child, I'm maybe 17, they say, come down, I'm not asking you. And they don't even mind whether you don't even have anything to live for that day, but you need to give them 500 or 1,000. They will not be practicing our constitution in that way. When you are holding the law accountable, you need to be the people of very good moral.
Good things to you, Mr. Liu. I'm sent Prince Ngoison, writing from Limbe. I'm very happy with the program. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Good evening to you, Mr. Liu, and to your guest, our guest. Please, I'm just turning in. I would like to know what you have in mind concerning the spiritual organizations, talking about churches in the nation. Mr. Liu, we love your good work. Thank you. Rufus Kings is writing from Tico. He's talking about churches, but so many persons have also raised the issue of drug abuse amongst our young people.
Drug abuse will be accounted. We're going to classify the drugs into classes, and your crime goes according to the class of drug you take. We're not going just to say you've taken a drug and then you're going to jail. What class of drug have you taken? What impact can it do onto you? And what influence can it cause you to do? So we're going to classify those drugs and trying to persuade people, because this thing is coming when there's unemployment. This thing is coming when there's no leisure. Leisure means places for sports, for activities, for games, lots of them, so that children don't feel lonely on weekends and weekdays when mom and dads are out of the house or going on holidays. Then they just sit in the house and having nothing to do. There's lots of small recreational activities. So when this is done, those things will begin to abate, they will begin to drop down. They are going high now because there's no role model in the country, there's nowhere to make activities. You see on Sundays people running on the roads, with the government not giving provisions on where local areas, neighborhoods should have local recreational areas. Local Bonaberi, for example, should have a local recreational area that is massive. They don't have. They're just building houses up and down in anywhere they find, pushing our young people to fall into drugs, when they think that they could even go around and play and do some exercise and even plan to do some activities and all those things. So we're going to look into classifying the drugs and making sure that they understand the level of drug they take and that they are so poisonous and dangerous to them and the influences they got. And this will drop down the number of kids taking drugs. For the churches, it's a huge thing. You don't query people that do things of spirituality. But we need to see that there are some abuses taking place in churches, and these abuses are much more than abuses that are going out. Our young girls and young people have fall prey to some people that are preaching the word of God in a style that is not accepted. So we were going to classify those things and see that we classify and structure what can be preached and what is not preached, and where the resources of somebody is going to, and why is it going, and what is the pastor doing with those resources. Who promised? But a promise is a debt. You promise that we contributing money to build a church, but you go and buy a jet. That is an abuse. So this can be held accountable.
Okay, you want accountability in church, but these are spiritual things.
Yeah, but there's still accountability because they're spiritual. The spiritual things revolves from the physical. So the physical needs accountability. Let the spirit stay there, and then the physical things will be accounted.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo, and your guest. I'm enjoying the program from Bamenda. Please ask your guest what will he do with the issue of this facility education that doesn't yield no fruits for our Cameroonian youths. Kingsley is writing from Bamenda. I'm sure he's talked about that already.
Buildings and those.
Yeah, please can they tell us how will you manage to win the incumbent without coalition? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Our opposition leaders have good views to change the country, but it's unfortunate that they always come on board when it's election time. I think if they sensitize people on time, it will help more. Even sensitize people first to see the need to make their voters card. Most people don't even have voters cards because they have lost hope in Cameroon's elections. Leonard is writing from mile 16. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Why is it that this political leader cannot work before campaigning? I am Richard, watching from Limbe. People are watching you, asking questions from almost everywhere. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I wish to know what the presidential candidate has for retired workers who have served under the present government and have ended up with very poor pension. Shea Emmanuel is writing from Bamenda.
Not only poor pension, when is the pension coming? You working with the government, you retire, then the government asks you to come and compile documents of somebody who has been working for so long. How come you don't have those information that the pension can flow immediately after the retirement? Then you have to go and compile. We're going to be looking to those digital aspects. You're working with a company, you go on retirement, they've been taking pension contributions on your behalf. It means that the day your retirement starts is the day you don't do anything, you start taking that pension. That's the most important thing before we look into the pension package that has been taken from you. And you will have access to see how much accrued on pension, because it's a nice Cameroon built with a vision and imagination. A strong Cameroon where somebody sees ahead of many people and see on behalf of his own people, Cameroonians. Now, you are capable to see how much you accrued. Documents, it's a decentralized Cameroon where authority is not resting on one hand. So you can go onto even your phone and see how much contribution have I got. You going on retirement, you know that I got 50 million there that I'm going to take over the year. If I go leave the planet without finishing the 50 million, my son or my next of kin carry on taking the 10 million or 5 million that was left there. Very easy. Very easy. Okay. But the government complicates it and they use it even to buy those terrible things that they're buying.
Good evening, Mr. Leonard, and your panelists. I'm called Mukete Raphael, writing from Boya. Please ask Mr. Lang how he is going to manage land acquisitions policies. I'm sure you mean acquisition in Cameroon, following that many youths are ready to go into agriculture, but lack of land is keeping them back.
That is, even myself, I'm affected.
Okay.
Because we need to buy, and sometimes buying becomes a cultural aspect. Or land owners will be disputing that, oh, it was my father's land, we don't need to be. That's why you find so many empty places. People are not even using it. And when they are not using it, they don't want to give anybody to use it. But if you are not already using your land, and then somebody is available to use, rent out the land for him mandatorily by the government. Rent out the land, whether you are from what part of Cameroon, rent out the land for the next person who wants to cultivate in that land. Because it cannot stay empty. It cannot keep mosquitoes lying there. It cannot keep it unused. So the most important thing we'll be doing is that lands that are empty without being used will generate income, and then the person that owns the land will earn the income, while other persons that have the money to cultivate on the land will cultivate on the land. We are not going to be seizing lands, but we are going to be motivating that. When you have land and you cannot cultivate on the land or construct on the land within a period, let the government know how long you want to keep the land for without using the land. Then the government will motivate somebody to use the land for that period of time that you are not using the land than to keep it empty, so that business places, agricultural lands will be used just like that. And the government of this country, of this party, plans also that they will train lots of agriculturists, people that are doing farming, lots of them listed in the database, so we can actually tell Cameroonians how much food is in the system, that even if something breaks out, we will be able to cope. Because we know that there's somebody in Bamenda, or some people in Bamenda, they are doing maize. There's somebody in Gaundere who is doing only yam. There are some people in Boya doing cocoa or even pepper or any other thing. And the cassavas and others, we will have those in the system, because it's a transparent system that is governed with the people at heart. So you can actually know how many tons of maize, how many tons of cocoa, how many tons of cassava, how many tons of whatever is being produced easily. So people feel free that there is food.
Yeah, but there is a bigger challenge here. Many persons want to engage in business or in agriculture, but the loan acquisition process in Cameroon is really very difficult. How do we facilitate the obtention of both land and the capital for investment?
It's horrible. He have said if you want to go bankrupt, get a loan in Cameroon, you go bankrupt easily instead of just staying without getting a loan. I'm not campaigning against the banks. They should relax their banking systems. They should relax it a bit and allow people that genuinely wants to borrow money to genuinely borrow the money with reasonable interest. Let the ministers regulate. I know they earn from there, because when they charge scrupulously, you borrow and you are being charged so much scrupulously in order that you guarantee your land, and you're losing the land if you don't pay back. So let you relax this a bit more compared with other countries, so that our people should be able to get feasible loans that can be paid back, not taking loans that they surmount themselves into debts and obviously go bankrupt instead of prospering. We're giving loans out because we want to prosper our people. We're giving loans that when people prosper, they look after their families, they even pay their workers very nicely. But when you take a loan, you're rushing to pay it back, and you're paying non-stop without giving accounts, even on their mobile apps, that you loan 10 million, every month, when you pay in, you see how much is actually left and which is real. So when you are paying, you are seeing as it's reducing. And then they're giving you options to further pay quickly or to delay payment if you want to improve yourself further. They are so rigid, banking rules and lending rules. They're so rigid. So if people want to do agriculture, it will be more easy for the government. They got departments in this country that are capable to loan for agricultural people. But this will be on bias. It will not be because I know you, or you are not coming from my division or from my region, then we will not facilitate your loan. We need to actually see that you are somebody interested in farming, capable with a good project, and the government will also have a plan to support agriculture and farmers, and even with materials. Okay. Fertilizers are listed, and other mechanisms.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, and the guest. What can the guest tell us as CDC retired workers without retirement benefits? Charles, writing from Tico.
CDC was our pride. CDC remains in our mind. CDC remains in the mind of anybody that is in this country. That was the second largest. There shouldn't have been somebody retiring from the CDC and not even being able to have something. And there shouldn't have been any means for the CDC, that is a historic industry in this country, second largest after the government, to have go even to a level where people retire and don't be able to get something. We will be working forward to empower those type of organizations to make them more long-lasting, make thousands of years in existence. We got companies that will stay, and we support them that will stay even longer than just retiring somebody and the person goes and starts suffering. So when people work for a company, they leave history. And we want them to have this history noted down and let the people enjoy being working from a country, a company like CDC. Okay. So these are things that we want to look into.
Mr. Eric is writing from Kumba. I'm sure he's joining us late. Most of the things he's asking about have been spoken of already by Mr. Lang. Good evening, Mr. Kum, and your panelist, Mr. Lang. Please ask Mr. Lang to please briefly introduce himself. We focus on his career and political affiliation. My second question is, how Mr. Lang intends to solve the ongoing crisis in the northwest and southwest regions. He has done that already. Thirdly, Mr. Lang, please tell us details, what form of government. He talked about federalism, he intends to implement. He talked about that already. Yeah. Even about himself, he's talked about what he has done so far in Cameroon. My last question, how does Mr. Lang intend to revamp the economy of Cameroon and create more jobs? Eric, he's talked about all of what you said.
Yeah, we spoke about that. We spoke about economy, but I did define economy here many times by different writers of economy. And we know how strong they helped the world till today. Adam Smith, Alfred Marshall, Lloyd Robbins. We talk about them. And we know that none of them is being practiced in Cameroon, because Cameroonian economy is in theory, which I define that Kwame Nkrumah said, theory without practice is empty, while practice without theory is blind. And this is just what is happening within the Cameroon economy. But Cameroon is going to have an economy system which is feasible, which practice and theory are all in one place. So that was so much concise.
Okay. A warm salutation to you in the studio. I feel a sense of intentionality in all what you are saying. Sir, what name? My name is Shita Aka Shetris Consultancy from the University of Bamenda, resident in Bambili. So I wish to ask, how will you cope with the aspect of placing university students on a monthly salary if you finally become the president of this country? Should we have such hopes? It was so during the time of our forefathers. Can it be so in your reign? Thanks for a kind response in advance. Yes, but at the time we did not have so many university students.
Yeah, but we have so many universities now. We have private universities, but we're going to revamp them. We're going to recalculate what is merit by a university. We're going to know what is a university and how does it look like, because there's so many of them in Cameroon that are not up to the standard of being a university. So many of these things will be looked into, and most of them will be supported to become real universities. Their campuses will be looked into, their infrastructure will be looked into, and their restructuring will be looked into, because if you don't do, you have very unprofessional people working with a professional government. And our government will be one of the most professional governments in history of the country, because we are armed with a vision. So we want to train Cameroonians to be very, very much professional. So if we don't look into the educational system that brings about these young people, and that is creating a very renowned and very strong education, then we are not going to get that professionality. Coming to paying the students, we are going to instead try to see that we give them a bursary. A bursary is mean tested. Mean tested means that you calculate netly what a student can live on in a month, and that is exactly what requires him to live, with excluding luxury. We can look into that, and because the Cameroon got lots of money and lots of possibilities. Okay,
good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm impressed with our presidential hopeful. Mr. Liu, can you imagine that you are a civil servant with the state of Cameroon? They have your database and cut their taxes at every payout, but commits public servants to declare taxes every year that he cuts them himself. What a burden. G. Ignatius is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, is your guest a presidential candidate for this coming elections 2025? Ask him what plans he has put so far to guarantee success. Or he's just talking. I'm writing from Boya. He has a political party, but is endorsing a candidate. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please let our guest from CRP tell us how he's going to solve the economic imbalances in Cameroon, taking from the angle where politicians in Cameroon are wealthier than business giants. Also, how do they plan to end the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions so far? Mr. Njiki, writing from Yaoundé, thanks.
Yeah, I've spoken about the north and southwest.
Yes, but we have politicians and I'm sure administrators who are far richer than those doing business in Cameroon.
Cameroon is centered, government-centered country, economy. The pride of people working with the government is higher than the pride when you are a businessman. You become a culprit in front of a government civil servant because you are a business person. You feel downgraded and you feel more like tied down because you are not. They don't look at you as the economy powerhouse of the system. First of all, getting salaries, paying out salaries, and having pay as you earn taxes back to the government. paying the government tax again as a company. So you're contributing immensely to the system. But this funny government of 42 years, they don't even know. They think that they are the top. They've empowered the people of the government rather than government of the people. So that's where the funny thing has happened. So they know about people of the government than government of the people. The easiest thing we are going to do is government of the people instead of people of the government.
Okay.
So the businessman is at the center.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I enjoy the program. Please, I'd like to join his party and work with him. Can I have Mr. Lang's number? I'm Livingston, writing from Bomenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please ask the candidate whether he will offer free education if he becomes the president. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Beautiful educative talk this evening. Just so much in love with Mr. Lang's having a golden heart for our generation. Celestine is writing from Bomenda. Unfortunately, we have to end at this juncture. We are out of time. Mr. Lang, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, and nice to meet you, and hope we meet again.
Okay, and certainly Mr. Lang is coming back to continue talking to Cameroonians, especially with respect to the ongoing electoral process till we vote a new president. Thank you all for watching. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.